If you're trying to play Gloria Victis as a range player, you're essentially playing the Teemo version of New World. You can push your dexterity to 180, but you will still watch sword players kill enemies twice as you. And here's why being an archer in this game, in my opinion, is a trap. Let's get into it. For those who don't know, Gloria Victis is a medieval open world free sandbox MMORPG released 18th of June 2026 with a heavy focus on faction-based PvP and PvE. You pick a nation, you fight for a territory, you craft, you level up, and you build your character over a time. On paper, it sounds like exactly the kind of game this channel was made for, a medieval RPG with archer class that promises a genuinely range playstyle. I went as a nomad, I gave it a proper chance, I finished the long tutorial, which I had no problem with this, and I reached level 30, invest heavily into dexterity, pretty much full dexterity, and upgraded my bow at the market. I think I did everything right, if not let me know in the comments, but here's what I found. Let's start with the thing that matters most for this channel, how the bow actually feels to use. The first thing you notice is the automatic arrow regeneration. When you run out of arrows, they regenerate, and automatically, on their own. I cannot stress enough how much this single design decision damaged the entire range experience. In any serious range game, Horizon, Kingdom Come, Skyrim, managing your arrows is part of attention. And it gives you immersion. Do you take the shot? Do you save it? Do you reposition and wait? That tension is what makes range combat interesting. Gloria Victis removes it entirely and replaces it with a system that honestly feels like something out of a mobile game. Not to mention the battle passes that are also there, but that's a whole other conversation for other topic. The draw mechanics works backwards. When you draw your bow in Gloria Victis, there's a green, yellow and red accuracy stamina window. You need to release within the green zone to land a better shot wrapped with a good stamina. So far so good. The problem is the longer you hold your draw, the more stamina you use, and it penalizes you for not hitting in the right moment. In every real archery system in gaming and in real life, holding your draw longer means more focus and more power, less control. Gloria Victis penalizes you for it. You are forced to release unnaturally quickly just to hit the green window so you can save more stamina, and it breaks the rhythm of bow combat. You are not really aiming, you're playing a timing minigame, and a bad one. Satisfaction, I would say barely noticeable. Then we have the impact response, or I would say the complete lack of it. When your arrow connects with enemy, there is nothing. No flinch, no reaction, no visual feedback that says, yes, that landed and it hurt. Just shot, something happens and you're not entirely sure what was that. Compare that to Kingdom Come Deliverance, where every arrow hit produced the real reaction and where you genuinely feel each shot landing. The draw resistance at least exists, like holding a draw does deplete your stamina, which is correct, but combined with everything else is a single good idea buried under several bad ones. And speaking about the stamina, that brings to what I think is the biggest problem of all range players in this game. On this channel I have a term I use every game I test, SBTGM, shoot it before they get me. Keep distance, land your shots, kill it before it reaches you. In Gloria Victis, SBTGM is one of the worst experiences I've had in any range game, and here's why. Your stamina bar controls everything. You run, your stamina goes down, you draw your bow, stamina goes down, you miss the green window while aiming, stamina goes down, you shoot, stamina goes down. By the time you have repositioned and fired a few arrows, your bar is gone. And then, just to make it worse, your arrows might be gone too, because remember, there's no real ammunition system here. You just wait, and wait until they magically appear back in your quiver out of nowhere. It's disappointing. You're already exhausted, you're already being chased, your stamina is at 0, and now you are standing there watching an arrow regeneration timer, hoping it finished before the enemy reaches you. That's not range combat, and what do? You switch to melee weapon, which kills faster. And the moment an enemy does reach you, they can shield bash you into a stun, start attacking, and you are stuck. You can run, but it looks and feels so clunky and unresponsive that running away becomes its own punishment. Now, to be fair, after level 20, when I upgraded my bow and invested in the right skills, SBTGM started working a bit better. I could actually kill enemies before they reach me. The system opened up a little bit. But the experience of getting there was not cool. In fact, Gloria Victis reminds me of Mountain Blade Warband, except in a far worse environment with a far worse system. At least in Warband you could buy arrows or loot them from the enemies. Now let's talk about the thing that ultimately made me put this game down. The balance between the range and melee does not exist. I had 170 plus dexterity, I had a decent longbow which I bought at the market with respectable damage numbers. I was playing the game the way an archer is supposed to play, keeping distance, landing shots, managing position. And sword players were still killing enemies faster, more effectively, and with less effort than me at every single level up to around level 20 or 25. That is fundamental failure for a game that offers range class. The entire point of range build is that you sacrifice close quarters safety for a damage from a distance. And if you give up this safety and it still do less damage than melee, what exactly is the point being a range player in this game? But it felt completely random rather than skill based. Speaking about skills, I went full archer and couldn't feel any difference. Zero. And then we have the enemy leash system. Enemies have a restricted movement area. They come towards you, you shoot them back, they start retreating to their original zone and reset. As a range player, your entire strategy is built around maintaining distance, keeping enemies at range, shooting them down before they reach you. Gloria Victis punishes you for this. The enemy resets you just as you're about to finish. You run out of arrows because regeneration is on cooldown, the enemy walks back to regenerate his full health. And the leash area is too small for the open world sandbox MMORPG. It's tiny. The overall combat feel, not just the range side, is where Gloria Victis shows its age most clearly. The chieftain fight during the tutorial was generally bad. Slow, unresponsive, clunky. I got knocked down and got stuck trying to get back up. The animation didn't want to complete, and you can see on the footage. And the only reason I survived was because other players show up and essentially rescued me because he was using the sword and I was using the bow. And this is not how you want to experience your first major combat encounter in any game. Here's what frustrates me most though. The close combat in Gloria Victis is actually more polished and way better than the range combat. As a channel dedicated entirely to bow and range gameplay, I should never be in position to say that, but it's true. It's better. The range combat feels like it was added as an afterthought. And for the game with a dedicated archer class, that's a serious problem. I want to be fair here, because this channel is about honest reviews, not just about complaining. There are things Gloria Victis gets right, and the crafting minigame is generally good. It's a quick time event where you hit E within a moving bar to speed up the whole process of crafting. It's simple but fun. Miss the bar and the process slows down. It's simple but it adds engagement to a system that in most MMOs is just clicking a button and just waiting. And I like it. It's a good design decision. Bow upgrades generally matter. When I bought a better bow at the market, I could feel the small difference. Enemies died faster. The progression exists. It just dramatically outpaced by a melee at every equivalent level. And headshots are quite rewarding. When you land a clean headshot, there's a noticeable damage difference compared to body shot. It works. The skill ceiling for a range player exists, it just buried under too many other problems to make it worth climbing. The world itself also has atmosphere. I really like the music, and the medieval setting is convincing. The faction system has generally potential, and there's games like, here that could work. The foundation isn't bad. It's the range implementation specifically that fails, in my opinion. So, should range players invest time in Gloria Victis? If you play range like I do, my honest answer right now is no. The auto arrow regeneration, the draw mechanic, the inconsistent shield blocking, the enemy leash system, and the severe melee imbalance combined into an experience that works against you pretty much every turn. That's a big no. I reached level 30, I finished the tutorial, I gave it a genuine chance, and I had to put it down because the core range experience was for me broken. If you are a hybrid player, someone willing to use melee as your primary weapon and bow as a situational tool, Gloria Victis has more to offer. The world is interesting, the faction warfare has potential. It's like a new world but from Temu, and the crafting keeps you engaging. As a secondary weapon, the bow is tolerable. As a primary playstyle, it's not. The frustrating thing is the bones of a good range system exist here. Headshots work, bow upgrades matter, the draw mechanics could be reversed tomorrow, in my opinion, but I don't know, and immediately feel way better. With a serious balance patch and some design rethinking, this could become something worth recommending, but right now, no, it isn't. If the developers actually listen to their community, a good starting point would be something as simple as craftable or purchasable arrows from the market. Real arrow management, even just for economic purposes, would immediately change the entire field of range combat. In this sandbox MMORPG, without changes like this, the game, in my opinion, would be dead within a year. I'm Igor, this is Quiver and Conquer, the channel where every game gets tested with ranged weapons only. If this is your playstyle, subscribe, new video every 2 weeks. I will see you in the next one. Take care.